shown that he is not a $40 million a year quarterback.
He is an average, maybe to slightly above average quarterback.
Right.
He's got a lot of nice skills. He's okay, but he's not consistent.
No.
He doesn't put listen, you watch Aaron Rodgers, and I know we're talking about the elite of elite.
Yeah.
But he can put the ball anywhere he wants to. Dak Prescott can't. If you watched the Cardinal Cowboy game last week, I mean, you saw two quarterbacks that are wildly inconsistent.
Right.
I mean, Kyler Murray played better than Prescott did, but but Kyler Murray, you keep him in the pocket, he doesn't know what to do.
Right. But totally different skill set. That's what you're getting with Kyler Murray. He's got to run out, he's got to get out of the pocket, maybe use his legs a little bit or throw on the run. That's his skill set. If you keep him in the pocket, you're going to win football games against Kyler Murray. Dak Prescott, it's, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get from him.
Is that your Southern accent?
It's a really bad
outstanding. Oh, priceless.
Thank you.
You sound like a drunken Irishman. That was your Southern accent. Outstanding.
Who's the champ?
You are. I got to shut my mouth for the whole freaking next year. Bastard.
Anyway,
that's an interesting game. I mean, based on the season, you'd think Dallas goes out and kind of beats them and covers like they have against every other NFC East team.
Right.
Philly's playing better than Dallas is right now.
Right.
Philly struggled though with Washington last week. They really did need everything they could to get by him. I would think that Philly at home on a Saturday night would probably cover in the cold. Just my hunch. I think their running game is better suited, especially if it's a cold weather night.
Oh, and by the way, if you are from New York, the online betting is supposed to start on Saturday, so you can
which is pretty exciting. So you can bet on the NFL legally, not going to your bookie, but they won't give you credit at these places, so you have to put the money in up front.
Yeah, that's the problem. But on the positive side, you paid up front, and nobody named bongos coming after you to break your legs.
You get to keep all your limbs, which is exciting.
Which is nice. So
they got that going for them. The other Saturday game is the Chiefs and Broncos. Really means nothing, with the exception that the Chiefs have that outside shot of the 1 seed if the Texans fall. I mean, if the Titans fall to the Texans, don't expect that to happen. Yeah. So you figure the Chiefs are still playing for the 2 seed. Right now, the Chiefs would line up for the winner of the Charger-Raider game. And if the Chiefs-Chargers, they played 2 great games already this year. So that would be a heck of a first weekend game. So it would be kind of cool to see. Those are the 2 Saturday games. The rest of the slate is on Sunday.
Cincinnati against Cleveland, which doesn't mean anything.
2 backup quarterbacks. So you got the Case Keenum playing, and they announced that that Burrow will not be playing this week either. So it's a battle of the backup quarterbacks in that one. That should be a thriller.
Thriller. And here's another thriller for you. How is Green Bay only a 3.5-point favorite over Detroit?
Apparently nobody's playing on Green Bay this week.
You know what? And still 3.5 seems very low.
You know what's funny about that is I know that they have some COVID issues, and they also have some guys that aren't going to play. They're going to rest them up. Right. But you only have the bye week. I hate resting my team for 2 weeks because I always feel like they're going to come out flat to start that first playoff game. And if you're sitting there right now and you're in the 4-5 matchup, which right now is Tampa Bay against Arizona, right? Mm-hmm. So say it's Tampa Bay going to Green Bay, and you come out flat, you will lose.
Yeah,
I'm just saying you want to stay as sharp as you can. That bye week can sometimes. I mean, listen, you always want the bye rather than not. You have to play one less game. All the things, it makes all the sense in the world. But if you do a double bye, that's a little scary to me.
Yeah, I hear you. So
I still think Green Bay playing backups will beat Detroit.
Yeah, exactly. By more than 3.5. Chicago, Minnesota, again, nobody really cares.
Well, I mean, both Fields is playing against Cousins, so this is probably the last game for Zimmer. He'll be gone, and I think it's definitely the last game for Nagy. Yeah. So I think 2 teams with new coaches next year. You rooting heavily for Minnesota to win, as you don't want Chicago to win any more games.
Absolutely not. As it is, I'm not happy that we have the 5 and the 8. I want something better.
I like being 4-7. Anyway.
Shut up. I hate you. At least you won something this year. Look, looking at the Washington football team, who supposedly are going to be announcing the name of the new team on Groundhog's Day, February 2nd. Although some think they may have released it unintentionally. There's a rumor out there that they're going to be the Admirals, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, the 6-10 Washington football team against the atrocious and underachieving 4-12 New York Giants. Jake Fromm, the Jake Fromm era is in full effect.
Can't wait to see the Giants actually pull this out and blow another spot in the draft order.
That's what's going to happen.
It could easily happen. They're home. Washington is they've played miserably down the stretch. If you looked like 3 weeks ago, Washington was in the playoffs.
Right.
And now
but now apparently Joe Judge called Washington a joke of a team, of an organization, or something like that, which is pretty funny. Hello, Pot.
Joe Judge shouldn't be talking. Again, that Belichick tree working well. Flores lost last week. The Dolphins aren't making the playoffs. No coach from the Belichick tree has made the playoffs. Josh McDaniels will get one of these jobs this year. It'll be interesting to see which one he takes.
You got the Colts against Jacksonville.
Colts needed to clinch the spot.
Right. But didn't Jacksonville beat them or play them really close the first time they played this year?
I believe so. Listen, it's in Jacksonville. But Jacksonville has been late. I mean, they lost 50-10 last week. Let's put it in perspective. I know New England's a pretty good team. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
They lost 50-10 to a team that just runs the ball, throws an occasional pass.
Right. And Indianapolis needs the game. Will they cover the spread?
Spread's 15.5. It's a big number. I expect that they'll cover, but I think it's just going to be a healthy dose of Taylor and just let him go.
Right. I mean, if I was betting that game, I probably would pick Jacksonville, but even that might not be a smart bet.
I agree.
They're just awful. Pittsburgh, Roethlisberger playing his final home game, possibly this past week, going up against Baltimore, and it doesn't look like that Lamar is playing, and Pittsburgh needs it.
Pittsburgh's still in the hunt. What they need. It's not easy. They need Jacksonville to beat Indy, and they need the Vegas game against Chargers to not finish in a tie. So that part seems pretty logical.
Right.
But they will get in if they win and the Colts lose. That's basically it. That's the only way they get in.
You think they cover the spread there?
I do. I just don't think Baltimore's been blowing anybody out lately, and Pittsburgh does have something to play for. I don't know if they win the game. I think Baltimore wins. They've been playing a lot of close games lately, the Ravens.
And suddenly going for two twice and losing, all of a sudden that plays a big part.
Yeah, this is a team that with Lamar would have made the playoffs.
And
again, you talk about 4 weeks ago, they were the 1 seed in the AFC, and now they won't make the playoffs.
Tennessee playing pretty much a meaningless game.
Well, not really. If they lose and the Chiefs win, they would get the 2 seed. So they need to win this game.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I'm just saying, if they want the bye and they want the extra week for Henry to rest,
right,
and they don't have to sit there and play him, this is huge.
And this team is so different with Henry.
They're just hard to stop. Tannehill becomes an incredible quarterback as opposed to a pretty good quarterback.
Right. With Derrick Henry, if he's back, suddenly Tennessee really does have a chance.
Absolutely. They become the favorite in the AFC just because you have the dominant running game, a good enough quarterback, and an A+ wide receiver, and a pretty solid defense.
So anyway, Tennessee, 10.5 point favorites. Probably.
We figure that they win. The Texans beat them the first time.
Right. So maybe they don't cover.
Yeah, you got to look at Tennessee as the team that lost to the Jets. That's the only reason why you have a chance of them losing.
New Orleans
with Henry. With Henry playing, they lost to the Jets.
New Orleans and the Falcons. New Orleans is still in this, right?
Well, if San Francisco loses and they win, and I think there's something else that goes with it, they get it. I think, listen, Atlanta's playing harder than people expected. I mean, they're in most games. They gave Buffalo a fit for a while. They were up 15-14 before they gave up the last 15 points of the game, so to speak. I can see Atlanta keeping this game really close and playing a spoiler. I don't know if I think New Orleans will find a way to win it. I think it'll be really close.
Right, and then you got the Jets shuffling off to Buffalo.
Listen, the Jets have played hard. That's all I can say about them. They're not winning these games for the most part, but they're playing hard.
I
don't think that they do much. Buffalo is trying to win the division. If Buffalo loses, New England wins the division. If New England wins, which they will. So against, well, I don't know if they will actually. Miami usually beats them the last week of the season in Miami. It's just like one of those traditions. But Buffalo's playing for the division, and I think Buffalo comes out and they punch the Jets in the mouth.
That's a big number though, 16.
I don't think they cover it. I think they beat them. I don't think they cover it.
Gotcha. Well, you mentioned San Fran. They need to win against the Rams. 4.5-point underdogs going into L.A.
Well, the Rams are the 2 seed right now, and they need to keep it. Also, you got to remember that the Rams don't want to fall back to the 3 and risk playing at Tampa or at Dallas. They want to play that game at home, so they're going to play hard too. Problem is, Garoppolo is not healthy.
Yep,
they're gonna have to win with Trey Lance again, and it took him like 3 quarters to figure out what to do against Houston. I think the Rams will give him fits. I think that the Stafford's had 2 really bad games in a row. By the way, he threw 2 picks last week. He threw 4 the week before.
But your boy Cooper Kupp looking for a record.
Yeah, he of course last week was like his worst game of the year. He only caught for 95 yards.
That was really
because I was in the finals.
That was really
so he decided not to show up. 9 for 95 is not showing up to me. I think he'll get his record. I do. Actually, I do. I think that it's going to be, San Fran plays that zone and Cooper Kupp eats up zones. I think that the Rams win. I think San Francisco's going to have to sweat out the playoff thing.
You got New England going down to Miami. Miami, really nothing to play for. And, New England wanting to win the NFC East or the AFC East.
Miami wins the game.
Okay. Seattle, Arizona.
I honestly think that Miami wins that game. They always find a way to beat them. They play this game every year. For some reason, New England has to go to Miami the last game of the season, and whatever it is, they don't win. I think Miami wins the game.
Miami in January, boy, that's got to suck.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Seattle against Arizona, again, obviously for selfish reasons, I root for Arizona because I want the Hawks to keep losing. This could be Pete Carroll's last game, could be Russell Wilson's last game as a Seahawk. I don't think Pete Carroll goes anywhere else. He's the oldest coach in the league already. Where would he go?
Right.
He doesn't look like it. Well, this year he seems like he slowed down a little bit. He looks a little more aged than usual.
Yeah, but what is he, like 74 or something like that? Or
I think he's like 70. But I think, he always has had the excitement and the exuberance. I think because they're losing, he doesn't look as fresh on the sideline as he usually does.
I understand how that feels.
But Russell Wilson, again, I know you're dying to get him in a Giant uniform. There's a lot of talk that this is his last year. I don't know how you get rid of a franchise quarterback, but
yeah,
Seattle's thinking about it.
I don't think I want to give up 2 first. You're gonna have to give up 3 first rounders for a minute. I don't think I want
Absolutely.
to give up too much.
Or you could do the fictional draft day movie and give up 4 first round picks for him. I think Arizona wins it though. They're trying to still win the division against the Rams, and San Francisco make that game a little closer in their opinion. So they'll fight.
Suddenly, the Jets are not as dumb as everybody thought, getting rid of Sam Darnold as they go to Tampa Bay. Carolina 5-11, not a very good first season for Mr. Darnold.
Well, they weren't bad early. Early on, they were praising this guy. Then he kind of fell apart. Then he got hurt. He didn't play awful early on last week, but it got worse and worse as the game went on. Without McCaffrey, that team is a different team. It's really McCaffrey's team. They're just not an effective offensive team. Chuba Hubbard runs hard. He's just not McCaffrey.
Right.
And, DJ Moore is nice, but when they know you're going to throw, he's not dynamic enough. I mean, it's, you figure Tampa Bay comes out just to kind of see if they can solidify that 2 seed.
Yeah. Not to mention after last week saying, hey, you know what? We're not the last week's team. We're better than that.
Absolutely. They're playing without a lot of wide receivers, but I think it'll still be enough.
Wow. I wonder if Antonio – oh, never mind. You got the Chargers playing against Vegas and big game. Now, do you think they could get together and say, hey, guys, why don't we just tie this game? We're both in the playoffs, bro.
I don't see that happening.
Okay.
I just don't – these 2 teams have a history of hating each other. I can't imagine.
Right.
Listen, the Chargers are the more talented team. Vegas went into Indianapolis last week and beat them. They held Taylor under wraps somewhat. I mean, Wentz came out very, very rusty, and it showed. It's hard to imagine the Raiders winning this game against the Chargers, but these two teams have the same record. Anything can